Welcome back to Winning Law. I'm attorney David Nguyen with offices in Houston, Texas. And today we're going to discuss a disturbing trend that I noticed with immigration cases. So this trend is so new that I haven't seen any other immigration attorney talk about it. The reason why I know about it is because we have many cases. We don't just file one or two cases here. We have hundreds of cases. So whenever there is a problem or new situation occurring with immigration, we know right away because we can look at our cases, analyze it, and then pass the information on to our clients. So before we talk about the disturbing trend, I need to explain what the preference category is for family-based petitions. So if you are a citizen and you're filing for your spouse or your unmarried children under 21 or your parents, these foreign nationals are considered immediate relatives. This means that you don't have to wait around for visas to become available. Once you file the I-130 immigrant petition and it's approved, there will be a visa available for these individuals. Now, if you don't fit this criteria and your foreign national is, let's say, an unmarried child over 21, a married child, or a sibling, most likely they're going to be on a preference category. This means that they have to wait until a visa is available before they're eligible to come into the US. And now the reason why this is so important is because if you file for an unmarried child, usually it takes about anywhere between 6 to 7 years. If you are filing for a married child, it usually takes about 14 years. And if you are filing for a sibling, it usually takes about 15 years. So as you can see, depending on your preference category, it may take you a very long time before a visa becomes available. Now, why is this important? In the past, once an I-130 immigrant petition is approved, USCIS will notify the National Visa Center who processes the visas. The NVC will determine if a visa becomes available and will notify the petitioner and the beneficiaries once a visa is close to becoming available or becomes available. Once this happens, the NVC will ask the petitioner or the foreign national to pay the DS-260 visa application fee of $500 and submit required financial documents. And this is very important because the foreign national or the petitioner may not have to pay the visa fees until several years later. As we mentioned, sibling petitions take up to 15 years, so there's no reason really why they should have to pay the visa application fee right away. However, with the new disturbing trend, immigration is no longer doing this. What they're doing immediately after an I-130 petition is approved, they're immediately sending it over to the National Visa Center, and the NVC is going to send a notice telling the foreign national or the petitioner that the visa fee needs to be paid and certain documents need to be uploaded. Now, you might be wondering, what's the big deal in doing this early? So let me give you some examples of why this is a bad idea to force foreign nationals to pay the $500 DS-260 immigrant visa fee right away. And these are just ideas on top of my head. So in the first example, you could think of if a parent files for an adult child and it takes 5 to 7 years for a visa to become available. If that parent dies before a visa becomes available, that petition is gone and that child cannot seek a visa. So if that fee has already been paid, that foreign national is out $500 and cannot do anything to move forward. The same is true as if a US citizen files for their siblings and it takes 14 to 15 years. If that's, the beneficiary dies or the petitioner dies and the visa is no longer available at the time, they're still out $500. The government is not going to refund anything. So this is the first reason why I don't like this new change. The second reason why I don't like this new change is because when you pay the DS-260 immigrant visa fee, the government is also going to request that you submit or upload certain documents to the website. When you do this, the government is asking for things like the petitioner's W-2s, their 1099s, their most recent pay statements, their tax transcripts, and other documents such as this. Now, if you submit it right away, when a visa becomes available in, let's say, 7 to 15 years, most likely all of those documents will become stale and invalid, and you're going to have to submit new documents to the system, which will take more time and be more confusing as well. And the final reason why I don't like this new change is because things change. So for example, if you are the petitioner, let's say you're a parent and you're filing for your children, and they happen to be unmarried and they happen to have no children of their own. And then after you submit the visa application and submit the required documents, later on they have a child. Later on, you're going to have issues because you're going to have to reopen that visa application and add on the additional dependent beneficiaries. And this requires additional fees, it requires additional forms. And if you are an immigration professional or you have worked in the immigration website or the NVC website, you'll know it's not very easy to manage that website. Once you submit certain documents and it's closed off, it's very hard to submit new and additional documents. So until the government fixes their system, it's going to be very confusing for people that have children after they have already submitted the visa application, or they have changes to their lifestyle. So if they get a new job, if they get married, if they start having a criminal record, all of these things will require changes on the original visa application. And this is very dangerous because people are not going to know how to make these changes, and it may lead to a denial of that visa application. So before we leave this video, I just want to give you a couple more tips about the visa application process. So if you're filing an immigrant petition or even a non-immigrant petition, and it requires consular processing, meaning that the foreign national is abroad and requires a visa to be handled at the US consulate, just remember that when the National Visa Center contacts you, it will be via email. So if you're not very good at keeping up with checking your emails, or you're not very good at remembering your passwords, and you're not represented by an attorney, just know that the government is not going to mail you a physical letter. They're going to send you an email. So if you are not in the habit of checking your emails, you may overlook this notice, and once USCIS sends the notice to the National Visa Center and the National Visa Center contacts you, if you don't notify them either by paying the visa fee right away or submitting the required documents within 1 year, they're going to cancel that visa application. And what that means is that the next time that you try to pay for that visa application, they're going to tell you that, hey, you either have to repay the visa application fee, or they're going to ask you to resubmit the I-130 petition all over again. And this is a big deal, especially if you're in a preference category case. Because remember, adult children take about 5 to 7 years. And then if you have adult children that are married, it may take 14 years. And if you have siblings, it takes 15 years. So if you have to refile the I-130 petition all over again, I don't know if the foreign national is going to want to start all over. And this may be what you have to do. So again, if you have an attorney though, both you and your attorney will receive that email, and hopefully your attorney is experienced with immigration cases and checks and monitors their emails daily, like our office. So again, thank you for watching Winning Law. I'm attorney David Nguyen, and we hope that we have made immigration easier to understand.
At David Nguyen's Law Office, we are here to help you. We bring families together through immigration. And on the other hand, we help you find solutions. All your legal needs in the hands of people who care, who are there for you. We'll take care of your loved ones at the law office of David.